Hey guys, this is Anup. Today we are going to learn about OSI model or Open System Interconnection Model. So let's start. OSI model defined and is used to understand how data is transferred from one system to another in a computer network. In the most basic forms, two computers connecting to each other with the help of LAN cable and connector RJ45. Sharing data with the help of network interface card forms a network. But if one computer is based on MS Windows and other one is Mac OS installed, then how these computers are going to communicate with each others? In order to a complete successful communication between computer or network or different architectures, 7-layer OSI model or Open System Interconnection module was introduced by International Organization for Standardization in 1984, containing application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. Note that each layer is a package of protocols. If I say application layer, then does not mean that if include computer applications like Chrome, Firefox, etc. But if include application layer protocol that are needed to make these applications work correctly in the network or internet. So let's start with the topmost layer, application layer is used by network applications. Network applications means computer applications that use internet like Chrome, Firefox, Outlook, Skype, etc. Web browser is a network applications running in your computer. It uses application layer protocols HTTP or HTTPS to do web surfing. Not only web browser but all network applications include Outlook, Skype, etc. All these depends on application layer protocol to function. There are dozens of application layer protocols that enable various functions at this layer. All these protocols collectively form the application layer. These protocols form the basis of various network services like file transfer, web surfing, emails, virtual terminal, etc. File transfer is done with the help of FTP protocol. बोले तो file transfer protocol. Web surfing is done with the help of HTTP or HTTPS. For email, SMTP protocols is used, and for virtual terminals, Telnet is used. So application layer provides service for network application with the help of protocols to perform user activities. Next to application layer is presentation layer. Presentation layer receive data from application layer. This data is in form of character and numbers. Presentation layer convert this character and number to machine understandable binary format. For example, conversion of SKG to ABCD code. This function of presentation layer is called translation. Before the data is transmitted, presentation layer reduces the number of bits that are used to represent the original data. This bit reduction process is called data compression, and that it can be lossy or lossless. Data compression reduces the amount of space used to store the original file. As the size of file is reduced, it can be received at destination is very less time, that is data transmission can be done faster. Thus data compression is very helpful in real-time video or audio streaming. To maintain the integrity of data before transmission, data is encrypted. Encryption enhances security of the sensitive data. At sender side, data is encrypted, and at receiver side, data is decrypted. SSL protocol or secure socket layer is used in presentation layer for encryption and decryption. So presentation layer performs three basic functions: translation, compression, and encryption or decryption. Now session layer. Session layer helps in setting up and managing connection, enabling sending and receiving of data, followed by termination of connections or sessions. Session layer 2 has its own helpers called APIs or application programming interface. NetBIOS or network basic input output system is an example of API which allows two applications on different computer to communicate with each other. Just before a session or a connection is established with a server performs a function called authentication. Authentication is a process of verifying who you are. For the server, use a username and password. Once entered username and password are matched, a session or a connection is established between your computer and server. After authenticating the user, authorization is checked. Authorization is the process used by server to determine if you have permission to access a file. If not, you will get a saying message you are not authorized to access this page. Both of these functions, authentication and authorization, are performed by session layer. The session layer keeps tracks of the files being downloaded. For example, a web page contains text, images, etc. This text and image are stored as separate file on the web server. When you request for a website in your web browser open a separate session to the web server to download each of these text and images files. These files are received in the form of data packets. Session layer keep a track of which data packets belong to which file, either text file or image files, and tracks where the received data packets go. In this case, it goes to web browser. That is, session layer helps in session management. So session layer helps in session management, authentication and authorization. Your web browser performs all functions of session, presentation and application layer. Layer below session layer is transport layer. The transport layer controls the reliability of communication through segmentation, flow control and error control. In segmentation, data received from session layer is divided into small data units called segments. Each segment contains a source and destinations, port number and sequence number. Port number helps to direct a smaller data unit to correct application. Sequence number helps to reassemble smaller data units in the correct order to form correct message in the receiver. In flow control, transport layer control the amount of data transmitted to a level that the receiver can process. Consider our mobile connection to a server. Server can transmit data maximum at 100 Mbps and mobile can process data maximum at 10 Mbps. Now we are downloading a file from server, but server starts sending data 15 Mbps, which is greater than the rate mobile phone can process. So mobile phone, with the help of transport layer, can tell the server to slow down data transmission rate up to 10 Mbps so that no data gets lost. Similarly, if server is sending data at 5 Mbps, mobile phones tell server to increase data transmission rate to 10 Mbps to maintain system performance. Transport layer also help in error control. If some data units do not arrive the destinations, transport layer use automatic repeat request scheme to retransmit a lost or corrupted data. Checksum, a group of bits added to each data segment by transport layer, is used to find out error received the data unit. Protocols of transport layer are transmission control protocol and user datagram protocol. Transport layer provide two types of services: connection oriented transmission and connectionless transmission. Connection oriented transmission is done via TCP, while connectionless transmission is done via UDP. UDP is faster than TCP because it does not provide any feedbacks whether data was really delivered, whereas TCP is provided a feedback, therefore data can be transmitted in TCP. UDP is used where it does not matter whether we have received all data. For example, live streaming movie, songs, online games, voice over IP, FTP and DNS etc. On the other hand, TCP is used where full data delivery is must. For example, World Wide Web, email, FTP, etc. So, transport layer performs segmentation, flow control, error control, connection and connectionless transmission, etc. Network layer passes data segments to the network layer. Network layer works for the transmission for received data segment from one computer to another located in different networks. Data units in the network layer are called packets. It is the layer where router reside. The function of network layer are logical addressing, routing and path determination. IP addressing done in network layer is called logical addressing. Every computer in a network has unique IP address. As network layer deal with data delivery, so this layer assigns sender and receiver's IP address to each data packet so that each data packet can reach the correct destination. Routing is a method of moving a data packet from source to destination, and it is based on the logical address format IP version 4 or IP version 6. Suppose computer A is connected to network 1 and computer B is connected to network 2. From computer B, we have requested to access facebook.com and now there is a reply from Facebook server for computer B is the form of packet. This packet needs to be delivered to computer B only. Since in a network, each device has a unique IP address, so these both computers will be having a unique IP address as well. Network layer of Facebook server have already added sender and receiver IP address in the packet. Suppose that mask is 255.255.255. This mask tell that the first three combination represent network while the last combination represent host or computer B. So based on IP address format, received data package will move to network B1 and then to computer B. So based on IP address, the mask routing decision are made in computer network. Now path determination. A computer can be connected to any internet server or a computer in a number of ways. Choosing best possible path for data delivery from source to destination is called path determination. L3 device use protocols such as OSPF Open Sorted Path First BGP Border Gateway Protocol. Intermediate system to intermediate system to determine best possible path to deliver data. Data link layer receive data packet from network layer which contain IP address of sender and receiver. There are two kinds of addressing: logical addressing, physical addressing. Logical addressing is done at network layer where sender and receiver's IP address are assigned to each data packet. Physical addressing is done at data link layer where MAC address of both devices are assigned to the received data packet. MAC address is a 12-digit alphanumeric number embedded in NIC of your computer by the manufacturer. Data unit is data link layer is called frame. Data link layer is embedded as software in NIC of a computer and provided means to transfer data from one computer to another via a local media. Local media include copper wire, optical fiber, or air for ratio signal. Please note here media does not correspond to the audio, video, animation, etc. It refers to the physical link between two or more computers or networks. The data link layer performs two basic functions. It allows the upper layers to access the media using techniques such as framing, controls how data is placed and received from the media using techniques such as media access control and error detection. Access media consider two distant hosts, a laptop and a desktop, communicating with each other. As laptop and desktop are connected to different network, so they will use network layer protocols, IP for example, to communicate with each other. In this example, desktop is connected to router via an Ethernet cable. Router R1 and R2 are connected via a satellite link and laptop is connected to R2 via a wireless link. Now desktop want to send some data to laptop based on the medium used to connect a desktop and router R1 data link layer embedded as software in NIC of desktop adds some data in head and tail of IP packets and converts it to a frame and Ethernet frame is this case. Router R1 receives this Ethernet frame, decapsulated it to IP packets and then it capsulated it again to a frame so that it can across satellite link to reach router R2. Router R2 will again decapsulated the received frame and re-encapsulated based on the medium used to connect router R2 and laptop. Wireless data link frame in this case, laptop receive wireless data link frame decapsulated and then forwarded IP packet to network layer and finally to application layer. Application layer protocol then makes received data to be visible on computer screen. So network layer or higher level layer are able to transfer data over media which are LAN cable and air in this case with the help of data link layer. That is, data link layer provide access to media for higher layer of OSI model. Data link layer control how data is placed and received from the media. Data link layer send and receive from the media. The technique used to get the frame on hand of the media is called media access control. There may be a number of devices connected to a common media. If two or more devices send data at the same time, then there may be possibility of the collision of the two messages resulting in useless message that neither reception can understand. To avoid this situation, data link layer keeps an eye on when the shared media is free so that device can transmit data for the receiver. This is called carrier sense multiple access CSMA. So data link layer with its media access control methods control when data is placed and received from the media. Tail of each frame conditions bits which are used to detect error in the receive frames. This occurs due to certain limitation of media used for transferring data. Now next layer is physical layer. Till now data from application layer has been segmented by transport layer, placed into packet by network layer and framed by data link layer, which is a sequence of binary 0 and 1s. Physical layer convert this binary sequence into signals and transmitted over local media. It can be an electrical signal in case of copper cable or LAN cable. Light signal is case of optical fiber and radio signal in case of air as local media. So the signal generated by the physical layer depends on the type of media used to connect two devices. At receiver side, physical layer receives signal, convert into bytes and pass it to data link layer as a frame and then to higher layer, finally to application layer. Application layer protocol makes the sender's message visible in the application in the receiver's computer screen. So these are 7 layers of OSI model are lying behind the smooth function of internet. Thanks for the watching my full video of OSI model, and please like this video and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Please subscribe and share. Thank you.